My name is Jason France, and I'm an English major student at the Surrey Protocol for Education. And this PowerPoint presentation is basically on chapter 3 of my individual study. So, the objective basically of this chapter is the overview of the plan approach, the identification of the learners, teachers, and school environment, which in that school is JC Chandising, description of the construction of material, either manual or digital, including time taken for the constructing materials. Right, so we're going to start with 3.1, and it says the overview of the plan of approach. So the decision of a topic area for the study was carefully selected based on observations made by the researcher, questions analysis from written examination, and opinions of other seasoned teachers. Additional investigations were thoroughly carried out based on a specific area of the topic to focus mainly on. The researcher gathered his information and proceeded towards researching fun ways to deliver the content to his students. After a considerable amount of time was spent to select a topic, the researcher then chose a grade 8 class to participate in this research. This class was chosen for this course of study because it comprises of students with different learning abilities and because of their intrinsic motivation to learn. Additional information about the target group was gathered from other subject areas. The researcher interacted with the chosen target group on many occasions and gained more knowledge based on them. The target group comprises students with individual differences. Some of the students are independent learners, while others needed more guidance and attention to complete tasks. As such, the material selected to deliver the content was tailored to suit their individual differences. The researcher had been teaching the selected class prior to the commencement of the study, and as such, he was able to highlight the specific areas of the topic that were complicated for the target group. He noticed that the students were unable to form grammatically correct sentence structures. They had little to no recollection of sentence structures from previous knowledge. Considering this, the researcher decided to choose sentence structure as the topic for the study. The scope and depth of the study the scope and depth of the topic at the grade 8 level was confirmed using the curriculum guide. Objectives and assumptions were established for the studies. The researcher decided to generate a lesson plan that catered for the individual differences in the target group. The use of different teaching methods was examined carefully and selected based on the needs of the learners. Additionally, the methods used during studies were changed based on how well the learners were able to react to it. Furthermore, the researcher experience using concrete materials have proven that the students are better able to concentrate since they stimulate better. As such, learning becomes fun and interesting. Hence, the materials used were gathered based on interest of students, availability of materials around the school, cost effective and easy to understand. More so, during the researcher's career, it was proven that concrete materials activated visual mental images that can be remembered for a long period as opposed to the traditional chalk and talk method. So now in the other part of chapter 3, which is 3.3, as you could see, this is the identification of the learners, right? So as you could see here, we have the boys, and as you could see, we have the name, the date of birth, and the address of each of the individual boys, right? On this slide here, as you could see, we have the girls, same as the boys, the name, the date, and the address. Also still on 3.2, as you could see, this is just the composition of the teachers. They have staff of JC Chanising. So as you could see, we have a plethora of different statuses among the staff. As you could see, starting from the HM, right, who we have trained and graduate. Next slide. Coming here, as you could see, the different positions also. The next slide also. And finally, this is the last slide. So as you could see, the composition of the staff is basically that JC Chandy Singh is made up of 57 teachers, and most of these teachers are newly appointed teachers that carry the status of a TQM 3, just as myself. Yes, so we're going to look at the school's environment. So the study took place at JC Chandy Singh Secondary School, which is in Portuguese Quarter on the Quarantine, so that's the location of the school. JC Chandy Singh Secondary School, formerly Quarantine High School, was established in 1938 by a legendary and visionary individual, Joseph Chamberlain Chandy Singh. The school was housed in a modest two-storied building on a small plot of land donated by Bokers Sugar Limited. This school mainly catered for youths of the predominantly African descent on the Quarantine Coast who had little chance to access the education provided by the British. It served as a launching point for them to further their study as they could proceed to university. Along with Mr. Chandy Singh, other noteworthy individuals helped mold selflessly the walls and fruits of the institution. Reverend A.E. Diet, Minister of Alkline, A.L. Swambor, chemist and druggist, Edna K. Woodwell are teachers. So these were some of the persons who helped mold the foundation of the school to where it is today. So we're going to continue with the school. And it says here, from its inception up to 1959, the school accommodated 11 forms with an enrollment of over 400 students. So our enrollment is pretty much more than that today. In 1959, after the British gave recognition to the sterling performance of the school, a new building was erected obliquely opposite to accommodate 16 classrooms and 3 science laboratories. Additionally, Bokar Sugar Estate generously donated the old Albion Estate Hospital to be used for construction of the new school's auditorium. Other facilities include a cricket field, volleyball court, and facilities for other sports, which I wish we had today. Anyhow, the new school became operational in January 1960. The curricula were revamped to represent the changing demands of the world. Physics, chemistry, and biology were introduced in 1976. The government took over leadership of the school. From then to the present, the school has boasted many noteworthy head teachers: J.P. Dinarine, Janet Waldrop, Frank McKenzie, Claude Johnson, Dwarka Shivraj, Bagmatila Cruz, yes, the one and only Bagmatila Cruz, current HOC, Naomi Lashley, and the current head, Miss Dame Quinn. The school accommodates 3 science laboratories, a laboratory, a computer laboratory, 2 staff rooms, a head teacher's office, a canteen, the maths room, a library, and 25 classrooms. Additionally, JC Chandy Singh is identified as a A-grade school in the Quarantine area. The school has made history by producing scholars such as doctors, lawyers, politicians, among many other noteworthy professions. Right? So, and the motto for the school is for Ada A Astra, through hard work to the stars. So as you could see, these are some of the courses or the subjects offered at the facilities. So as you could see, we have the English, we have English language, English literature, reading, facilities, library. We also have maths, mathematics, the maths room, science, the different science subjects, allied arts, physical education, as we all know, social studies, as you could see, social studies, we have the 3 subjects that they do in social studies. We have the business department, which has another plethora of subjects. We have home economics, also more than one subjects. We have the IT department, which has its own other accommodation of subjects, and we have the agricultural department. Hopefully, we started with the this CVQ. Hopefully, we started soon, and we're gonna incorporate industrial technology soon. Right? So 3.3 is basically the links that would be that I go about creating my materials for my lessons. So when you go on to the individual study, there's gonna be access for those access, or you're gonna see how I created my aids and what's that for my studies, the different materials, the time I took, and so on for it, right? So thank you. This is just the conclusion of chapter 3.